Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a really interesting knife review / knife overview to show you guys. This is the Bestech and Combo, I believe is how you say it. It might be Combo. Wet Nellie. What an interesting name for a knife. No idea. I imagine is it the lock? No, that'd be Nessie. It wouldn't be the lock. I have no idea what a wet. It makes me think of Wet Willie, but it's Wet Nellie in this case. Where's the finger go in that? Anyways, thanks so much to Bestech for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. This is a really cool knife, and the main cool factor here is that it is a button-operated frame lock, and you still have access to the frame lock so that you can utilize it as a regular frame lock. You can also use the button to kind of deploy the knife gravity style if you want to. This is cool. And while it is at heart still a frame lock, the fact that you have the option to operate it with a button without having the weakness of what is typically a plunge lock when you push a button is just really cool. On top of that, considering this is a premium, like a very premium, this is 62 to 64 HRC Magna Cut with titanium and a lot of cool features, and it is a Bestech collaboration, right, designer knife, and it still comes in at a totally reasonable price tag. It's also a full-size knife. I mean, like, we're gonna do the review, but this is a good one. I'm gonna link it down in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and make sure your notifications are turned on for my YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and measure this guy. Overall length of the Wet Nellie coming in at 8 inches. Blade length coming in at 3.5 inches, and your cutting edge coming in at just over 3 inches. Let's do some size comparisons. Any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and Others. So you can see here that it's a little smaller than the 8010 and my own Excalibur, but not way smaller. Up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3. Very similar in size to the Spyderco PM2, a little bigger than the Para 3. And then finally, we'll put it up. I put the box right on top of the size comparison knives. Up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue and the Hogue Deca. How is the action? It is beautiful. You push that button and the blade drops almost magnetically. Absolutely wonderful. And that detent is just perfect. That is my stomach growling. I'm sorry about that. I ate. I don't know what the problem is. I'm fine. I'm completely fine, but maybe we're just going to deal with that. So anyways, click. Very nice down into the closed position. And the reason you get that click is because it's not a plunge lock. We're not using the plunge lock itself as the detent. This actually has a detent ball, which I think you can see right there. That's really cool. So it rides on the face of the blade, and then once it finds the detent hole, it plops down into its little detent ball position, which is a gross thing to say for some. I'm saying it out loud. I'm like, why did I say it that way? Sorry, but that's what it does. That's why you get that nice little detent snap when you flip it, right? You can just release it and close it like this. Really, the action is just spectacular. Can't complain there. The flipper tab I would describe more as a light switch than a push button. You can push button it though. It's just not nearly as comfortable, but really, really good. Let's go ahead and do carry profile. Thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It is a little bit thicker, not bad. Length and height up against the PM2 and Para 3. Because this is a fairly slender profile, even though it is a full-size knife, it carries like a knife that is much smaller. Again, the Spyderco PM2 is only 1/4 inch longer, and you can see here this knife looks substantially smaller folded up, which is a good thing because you have to put it in your pocket if you're going to carry it, unless you're weird and you put the pocket clip in your pocket, you put the knife on the outside. Does anybody have anybody in their life who does that? And have you ever tried to ask them, right? They give you some reason that why it's like better, like it's more convenient for them. That's wrong. Let me tell you something. Maybe this will chase you off from my channel. Let's say this is the first upload you've ever watched on my channel, right? Let's say you've been carrying your knife where the pocket clip's on the inside and the knife is on the outside. I'm going to tell you right now, you are a goober. You're a goober. Well, my dad taught me to carry it like your dad's a goober, okay? But his mama, your grandpa told him that. Your grandpa's a goober. You guys have been doing that wrong. There is no reason to do that. When you're carrying your knife and the pocket clip's on the outside, You catch the pocket clip on something, worst case scenario, it breaks off, you lost the pocket clip, not the knife. In this situation, when you reach down into your pocket, you got a paper clip left. That's all you got. Your knife's gone because you're carrying it on the outside of your pocket. What's wrong with you? That's a Home Depot, Dad. That's wrong. You put it on the inside of your pocket. Anyways, I don't know how we got there, right? But anyways, let's go ahead and move on here. Weights, what are we looking at for materials? Like I said, Magna Cut, 62 to 64. Bravo, Bestech. Thank you very much for paying attention. That's awesome. Titanium. We've got some nice, I don't think it's contoured, but we have it's a couple different bevels here. We've got some nice texturing here. Very cool, very designy, right? We got some titanium up here for the hardware. We got titanium for the pocket clip and the back spacer. Very cool. And then, of course, some milling for weight reduction. So let's go ahead and weigh it. I'm going to guess this guy comes in at about 3.5 to 3.75 ounces. I'm a machine. Call me the scale whisperer. I know what these things weigh. So 3.6, 3.7 ounces, something like that. Let's go ahead and get out my my tools. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use in this channel. T8 for the pivot. We actually have T8 for the lock bar insert screws. We have T8 for the body screw, both sides. I know it looks like a T6. It is, in fact, a T8. And a hidden screw for the pocket clip, which is fine. It might be T6, no big deal. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's go ahead and measure the blade stock thickness, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes here. If it wasn't for that little tangent, I'd be booking. I just can't help it. 115 thousandths, so fairly thin on the blade stock. Meat and potatoes, this is a very comfortable knife to hold. And because of that very obviously intentional placement of the button, I would say as a right-handed person, there's essentially zero chance that I'm going to engage with that button during use. If you're going to use this left-handed, which you probably won't because there's no mounting position over here for lefties, right? I think in this case, with the button, right, that's a bummer they didn't put a mounting position for lefties, but in this case, because there is a part of your hand that does slightly engage with that button in the standard grip and a lot in the forward or the choked up grip, there is a chance that a left-handed person using this knife with the current placement of the button, they could disengage the lock. The answer is not to put mounting positions, a mounting position on the other side for left-handed people. The answer is to flip-flop the locking system for left-handed people and make a true left-handed version, which at this point, I don't understand. Listen, I know I look for, it seems like I look for every opportunity to bring up my own knife. The first thing that I told Sergio is I said, we got to make left-handed versions of this thing, man. We got to make true lefty versions where we flop the lock over to the other side, both the Framelock and the Vertilock. And he said, I agree, let's do it. Guess what? It was a really good idea, and lots of left-handed people bought it. I don't know why these companies won't make just make a few left-handed models so that lefties have the option, right? Start out with 2 to 5% of your the total number that you make. Just make left-handed ones. I don't know what it is about some of these foreign manufacturers, and honestly, a lot of U.S. manufacturers are just like, you know what? Left-handed people don't exist. It's crazy. Just make a few. 10% or less of the population is left-handed. I'm not saying you have to make 10% of every single knife that comes out in your library, but geez, just make a few. It's crazy not to. Anyways, the ergonomics are very, very comfortable, and I would say that there's very little chance of actually engaging, unless you're left-handed. As a right-handed person, there's very little chance that you're going to. Here's my finger position, choked up. Here's my natural finger position because, again, you're pushed up against that flipper tab. So there's the natural index finger landing zone. You have to try. Putting my finger here on top of the button is so uncomfortable because my index finger is bent awkwardly and that flipper tab is now pushing into my finger. This is comfortable. This is not. There's no way. Unless you're just being incredibly stupid with the knife. So edges nicely knocked down. I love the little design work up here. That's very, very cool. Love the gold pivot color in this case. There's a few different color configurations. If you don't like this sort of bronze, like dark bronze gray wash and you know, kind of like the brassy look of the hardware and everything. The blade is a really nice machine satin, like an exceptionally nice machine satin. Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's one of the nicest like machine satin finishes I've ever seen. That's gorgeous. All the lines just perfectly in the same direction. You have a machine satin flat, but it's different. The lines are going this way. And then the same thing as this bevel right here. And then this bevel matches this flat right here. So that's really cool. It's ever so subtle belly, mostly out here towards the tip. Very long, slender, I'm going to say not so much Persian. It's not so much trailing point, just a very long spear point blade. Kind of nice though. You can get your finger out here, do some draw cuts or whatever. Really nice. Fairly thin behind the edge, like medium thin. Magna Cut 62, 64, very, very good. No complaints there. We have Magna Cut on this side and Mr. Kombu's logo right there, so that's great. We have the backspacer here, which has more of the same, kind of the same design that's going on here. That's nice. No lanyard hole, and I think that's fine because who cares? We have the same design going on with the pocket clip, and the pocket clip is not bad. It looks like it'd be pointy here, and it's maybe a little bit pointy. It's not a hot spot, and it's shorter, which I like. There's a nice ramp underneath the bill. But the nice thing is that the pocket clip continues the general theme, and it has the right contrast. I think it would be the wrong choice to make the pocket clip the same exact color as the knife itself. So you can decide, which variation you want, because the pocket clip, to my knowledge, is a different color on each variation. 4 different variations of this knife, I'm pretty sure. Steel lock bar insert that doubles as the over travel, so that's great. We have plenty of lock bar access in here, which I didn't really talk about, but there you go. Your stop pin is actually deep shouldered in each position, open and close. Obviously runs on bearings there. You can see how that works. That button actually pushes the Framelock over, which is really cool. And so you can operate this. You can completely ignore the button if you want to, or you can use the button, which I think is great because a normal Framelock operation, your fingers are in the path of the blade when you're disengaging it, which isn't really a problem, right? But you can eliminate that completely by just using the button. So you have the choice, which I think is cool. And we don't see that enough. We see this sometimes in our world, but not enough. What's the final price tag on this knife? It's $255. That is ridiculously fair, considering this is coming from a brand who oftentimes is charging $300 plus for stuff like this. We have Magna Cut, appropriately heat treated. We have titanium. We have a full-size knife. It looks great. It operates great. It feels great. I mean, there's so many good things here. I love that we have even though it is a Framelock, we have an operation that is just different enough to make this interesting and make it stand out. This is a great deal. It's a great knife. Might not be for everybody, but I have a feeling that many, many people would enjoy this knife. This is a highly recommendable knife. I think the price point is spot on considering both Bestech and Mr. Kombu both have to, profit from this project. I really don't have an issue with it. That's it. Positive review. It's going in my my recommended knives playlist. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.